How about now? One little click can make a huge difference. Can you hear me now? Okay. Wow. I I can't begin to describe how much of a chicken with its head cut off I have been for the last 4 days trying to prep this show. All of the prep work that I did was about a week ago. And every day I say, I got to get in, I got to do this, I got to do that. No, there's too much work. Can you hear me now? How about now? I love that commercial. That's one that should still be in rotation. All right. Well, anyways, we are alive. We are here. And this is going to be a fun show. I got lots of news. I got a great project. We're not going to finish the project, or I'll have to. Somebody posted on Drama. You guys remember Drama a million years ago? One time, it was just somebody who did. There was a guy. Or a person who was disgruntled because all he wanted was a pie project. And that's not all I want to do. I want to talk about tech and all kinds of other goodies. And so in his frustration, he posted a comment that I've never deleted. I'm going to keep there forever and always. Guy likes to listen to himself talk too much. Let's get on with the project. And he's probably right. But I have way too much news to talk about today for us to complete the project. So we'll figure it out on the fly. So let's get fired up here. It is Thursday evening where I am, 7 p.m. my time in Houston, Texas. It is midnight in London and all over the Universal Coordinated Time Zone, and it may be something different in your part of the world. So good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you happen to be. This is ADRAMADA. Not Andromeda, but ADRAMADA. Another Dave Rush Ask Me Anything Digital Alchemy. And I am the aforementioned Dave Rush, your tech from Texas. And we're here because we, and certainly I, love technology. I love to read about it. I love to research it. And I love to try it. And having gotten my hands on it, at least where I can, I can't build a fusion reactor in the backyard yet. Someday we'll all be able to do that. But I'm interested in the impact of technology on daily lives and on our long-term lives. And so we do that. So we talk about tech. We do projects. Those are immediate and short-term kind of things. And we had a fun project today. Topics are wide-ranging. We celebrate technology from electric cars to electric guitars, music and movies, the synergy of energy, booting to computing, Linux ethics, the chase to space, cyber to fiber. Do I need to stop this? I'm really enjoying it. Maybe I do like to hear myself talk. Security to electricity, Raspberry Pi to Sci-Fi and AI. And we're not afraid to delve into social topics, including religion, sex, politics, COVID, whatever's on your mind. Keep it clean. Keep it interesting. That's where we're at. And I believe this is show number 24. At this very moment, as we speak, Americans, everybody outside the states who's watching this right now is going to be bored by this, but NFL kickoff just happened, how long ago? 8 minutes ago, where my beloved Cleveland Browns are doing battle with last year's Super Bowl winner, the New Jersey Jets. And it's preseason and it is meaningless. However, it is the beginning of one of my reasons to live. I love American football. You know why? Because it doesn't have a U in it. It's not football, it's foot. F-O-O-T. Sorry, if you're a football fan, international, more power to you. And I do enjoy soccer games much more now than I have in the past. I'll surf past one and say, you know what? Let's hang around and watch if they're not terrible. Hey, so quick review here. Where were we last week? We did a survey of upcoming technologies. We offered our analysis on their benefits and pitfalls and the likelihood that they'll actually bear some kind of fruit in the short term or long term. It was fun. It was interesting. This week, I got a fun project. Linux has a well-earned reputation for being a serious operating system. It doesn't have to be. It depends on what you're doing with it, right? It could be a serious OS. It's running back channels and handling servers and all kinds of, real deep techie stuff like that. It's also a great daily driver, not vastly different than Windows. And there's lots and lots and lots and lots of programs for it, not as many as Windows programs, but they do have some fun ones and some just cute, little, quick, neat things. And that's what we're doing today. I want to just show you the more whimsical side of Linux. And so we will. And with that, eep, op, orc, ah, and let's see who is amongst us. You guys got here a lot sooner than I did. This was just a drop-dead busy day, and I knew that I had 2 hours of work to finish prepping the show, and I started that at an hour and a half before showtime, and sure enough, about half an hour behind the last couple things. If we get to them, we're going to do them cold, see what happens. Let's see. Tell what led the party, as he always does, a half an hour before showtime. And Patricia Grace, let the Linux whimsy begin. Just a couple minutes before showtime. Lynn's Frenzy is back. Welcome back, my friend. And Patricia Grace, I'm out there patting my ego the other night. Hey, has the world picked up ADRAMADA or DRush TX, my normal go-by avatar name? And I ran into 2 sites that Patricia Grace runs. So, yes, Elaine, you did make it on time. You're going to recognize some of this stuff. You brought it up. Hopefully I got a couple more in here that you haven't run across as far as fun utilities go. And Elaine hanging out in Boston. It's an hour later for her. Her team's not playing tonight, so it's okay. Sorry about the audio. If I just started working on setup 5 minutes before showtime instead of continuing show prep, I would have had sound. Just reading messages. Station Helms, I can hear you now. The struggle is real. Man, a thought along those lines struck me today. I might even conversed about it, and then it's gone, so it'll be back. Next Gen Raspberry comes with a fusion reactor. I spent some time talking with some folks today about future Raspberries. Nothing I'm not disclosed on or anything, but the long and short of it is, don't expect an RPi 5 for a while, because Evan Upton says they want to make a big dent in the back orders on the RPi 4s. Good D. Yes, NFL is here. And my wife is not an NFL widow. She is a bigger fan of the NFL than I am. So I got to kind of work to keep up with her. So the Brown is going to the bowl. Your voice sounds lower than normal. You've installed new stuff today. Well, I don't feel like I'm talking high. Now I am. I don't know. Been talking all day. I may have a little bit of a raspy voice. Or maybe your system. Or maybe my system. I don't know. By the way, those of you who were here on the show last week, there was something wonky that happened to my audio system during the show a couple of times. I never did watch the playback on them. I'm not that egomaniacal, but I get the idea what happened. There was some squealing and some chatter kind of things. So rather than troubleshoot it and go figure it out, I bought I bought a used replacement, let's call it that, USB audio interface. And I've been using that all week for other things, and nobody's reported any problems with it. So if I get anything wonky going on, let me know, but hope springs eternal. I beg your pardon. That's why I got to drink tea. My voice is lower and deeper. It may just very well be lower and deeper. That is in keeping with some things that I've been doing, and I'm doing a lot of voicey stuff in the last 24 hours. Sounds like Darth Vader, best way I can describe it. Luke. You know what? I love the Star Wars goobers. They run around. This is the most important trivia in the world to them. You know what? Darth Vader never said, Luke, I am your father, or I am your father, or whatever intonation you want to add to that. Oh, no. And then everybody goes and runs around and looks it up. He didn't say Luke. Okay, he said, I am your father. So, fine. Luke. You're getting an occasional popping sound. Well, I'm not going to screw with any controls right now. I'm going to take what I got. If you can hear me and if I'm at least comprehensible, we'll go with that. Some popping, huh? Nah, I'm not going to screw with it. It'll probably be an audio setting in OBS. All right, well, let's get on with things. We're already 15 minutes into the show. I got about 15 minutes to get through a lot of news. I will put a reminder up. I'm going to do this every week until we get 1,000 people or more. ADRAMADA has a Discord server. It is barely off the ground. But those who are watching live or later on the archive, please come on over, join us, help us build. It's a tech community. It's a community of people who enjoy tech, who want to talk about it, who want to do it. We've got all kinds of neat things going on there, up to talk about all kinds of categories and things like that. We're ready, willing to expand. We're ready, willing to shrink it back. Hey, we bid a fond farewell to Paul Rubens, better known to the world as Pee Wee Herman, passed this last Monday at 70 years old after a 6-year fight with cancer. He was not a perfect man. No, none of us are. He had flaws, and some of his flaws made the news. It's unfortunate. I don't think he ever hurt anyone. It was all his own kind of self-humiliation. So, goodbye, Paul. Intel's Meteor Lake, on track for launch during the current third quarter of 2023, will feature, ready? This and all future, for as far as the announcement goes, Intel CPUs will have a dedicated AI engine within the CPU called Intel AI Boost. I'm not going to dig into all the details of this. I got way too much stuff to talk about. Intel also, I got slides. Let's do slides. Let's get through all the news here. There goes Pee Wee. And there is Meteor Lake. And here is Raptor Lake. Raptor Lake is getting a refresh to feature an additional 200 megahertz higher boost clocks for all of their non-K models. Remember, their K models are the ones that you can overclock. So their non-overclockable ones will have an internal additional boost of 200 megahertz. And that will happen starting in October. Crucial has just released, they didn't even announce, they just released 2 entirely new SSDs. You can't tell from this picture, these are smaller than 2.5-inch hard drive SSDs. And I guess you can see the right-hand one is a 2.5-inch, the left-hand one is much smaller. That means a couple things. Number one, it's cool, it's fast, it's wonderful, it's fantastic. They got a couple different models of it, a couple different speeds, lots of different sizes. What it means from a practical standpoint is there are 2.5-inch bays for these in laptops and some desktops. There are 2.5 to 3.5-inch adapters for 2.5-inch hard drives to go into a 3.5-inch bay. I hadn't thought about this till this very day, but this very day, there will need to be a new adapter. One to go into 2.5-inch bays, and one to go in 3.5-inch bays. Pricing, $130 retail for the 1 terabyte, and $210 retail for the 2 terabytes. As Patricia Grace has pointed out, and as I have been shopping recently, the price of SSDs is shockingly low. Social news. This is a cautionary tale for anybody who uses social media for activism, left wing, right wing, whatever your favorite cause is, doesn't matter. The article that I stole this from and steal from, that I read this from keyed on, came from a social media site called collectiva.social. Its database was confiscated by the FBI as a result of a raid at the home of one of the organizational administrators. It was unencrypted, and while all the data on there wasn't the target, the FBI doesn't have to give that back. They can copy it all and keep it. So this was a cautionary tale pointed out to participants on the Mastodon social media, because they are rumored to be very open on their back channel. And if you're doing something that, could get the attention of authorities, they're thinking Mastodon may not be your answer. I am the paranoid type. Excuse me. And if I'm going to do activism of some kind or any kind, it's not going to be on one of the standard social media platforms, because I don't trust anyone. Not because they're untrustworthy, but because they are targets. Those are the ones everybody's going after. Do you know what this is? I know what this is. This is a microturbine jet engine. It is about 8 inches in diameter, if you want to figure it out from there. And this is a personal note. As some of you know, many of you know, my son graduated from Texas Tech University 6 weeks ago or so, 7, 8, no more than 8. I can't keep track of all this stuff. And has been in the job hunt circle all that time. And you get the idea. He finally accepted one that everybody's happy about. And he will be relocating to Austin to work for a company called Accutronic. It's singular and it has one C. And they make drone actuators and a variety of microturbine engines with different output thrusts. And this is one of them. And I am here to tell you, I am inspired. Watch me in 1 year or less. Maybe theirs, maybe somebody else's, but I will have a turbojet powered go-kart up and running around Spring, Texas. Because this has just got me stoked. All right. Their headquarters is in Switzerland. Slide 6. This is an iron arrowhead. It was found in... Well, I make terrible notes here. There's a reason. It's kind of valuable. It's kind of a point. Yeah, it was Netherlands. I didn't even make that in my notes. If my brain is right, this was found in the Netherlands, and it's dated to the Bronze Age. But wait, this is iron. Iron was available during the Bronze Age, but it wasn't made by people. It is estimated that every iron tool and weapon that came from the Bronze Age came from meteorites. This one is particularly fascinating because it's the result of some research that a grad student did or something like that, maybe a full postgrad, who asked in her circles every museum and collector to report their iron implements and information on its size and whatever, because she's trying to catalog how much of this Bronze Age stuff is coming from meteorites. What's fascinating... Oh, I'm sorry. This was not Netherlands. This was found in Switzerland. Okay, what was fascinating about this one is there was a good-sized meteor impact near the village where this was found. This did not come from that meteorite. It, in fact, came from a meteorite that's got the identical chemistry, and so they think it's the same one, They fell in Estonia somewhere around 1400 to 1800 years BC. And so we don't know if it was fashioned into a spear point or an arrow point, and then transported by formerly unknown trade routes, or if it came over as raw iron chunks or meteorite chunks. But I just thought this was really interesting. I thought this was kind of a nice bit of tech to talk about and maybe bring archaeology into our mix. Microsoft Edge, the beta channel of Windows 11, just came out with a new darker mode. Its current dark mode is kind of gray. And you can see this background here around this dark reader thing, all around the whole periphery is kind of gray. And then if you look to the left of where it says dark reader, that's black. This is the new Microsoft dark mode for Edge. I hate Edge. Every time Windows 11 does an update, they give you a new version of Edge and they reset all of your settings, all your preferences back to their default. So you get to see their ads and their banners and their junk and their nonsense. So this most recent time, I went in to try to experiment with this dark mode. I'm not on the beta channel, so couldn't get anything out of it, but it had been updated, and it took me 20 minutes to get all my preferences restored. And it's going to happen again, and I am not a happy camper. I just don't like Edge. So our friends in the South and Southeast, this is the first new nuclear power plant to come online in the U.S. in 30 years. This is, I don't know how to pronounce this. I never got around to looking it up. It's in Georgia, and it went live, not for testing. The testing has been done. Now, starting this past Monday, it said, I am now a true commercial provider. This is the Vogtle, V-O-G-T-L-E, Vogtle plant number 3, and number 4 is under construction. Makes about 1,000 megawatts of power. And you know, I mentioned this last week when we talked about nuke. I don't care how many households that can power. 1,000 megawatts is 1,000 megawatts. Do with it what you will. So, pretty cool. I'm a fan of nuclear energy. I recognize there's problems. Hey, look at that. Andromeda swag. Still haven't designed our buzz, grind shirt, and I'm not going to submit all the other designs until that happens. So we're working on it. We've got some pretty cool stuff. Wi-Fi 7 is not finalized, but it's so close that a number of companies and vendors have said, you know what, based on what's out there so far in its pre-published state, we're going to start making product. And so it's got a whole bunch of really cool new benefits. You can buy stuff that's Wi-Fi 7 right now. And the presumption is if you get something right now, and when the final blessing comes out, sometime around May probably, if there's a difference in there, yours should be fixable with an update, with a firmware update, these old ones. So some of this stuff is not going to be achieved in the real world, but theoretical max speed, 46 gigabits per second. They're expecting real-world speeds of about double that of Wi-Fi 6, 802.11.ax. It only operates in the 6 gigahertz band. Why does this say 5 and 2? Because like all WAPs, wireless access points, they have backward compatible mode for previous 802.11 versions. But the function of Wi-Fi 7 is 100% only on 6 gigahertz channels. They're 320 megahertz wide compared to 20s and the 40s and the 80s and the 160s that we've messed with up till now in a best case scenario. It's got other features. I'm not going to read them all to you. Did I put the link for this in my thing to share with you? No. Yes, I did. Here is a good state of Wi-Fi 7 and new features and all that good stuff. Let's call it state of Wi-Fi 7. Double space. And enter. Okay, it's in the chat. Enjoy. Almost done with news of the week, and that's about perfect. We'll finish this up, and then we'll catch up on messages, post, and then we'll start project. It's going to be right on time here. I had a holy cow moment this week. I am very near the end of a big company project. Some of you have seen our simulator projects, our products, and I am deep and far into completion. I'm somewhere between 5 and 7 from completion. I'll have those done this weekend. I have on my system several virtual machines running, not at the same time. I could run several Hyper-V systems at the same time. I could run several VirtualBox systems at the same time. Here's the holy cow moment. VirtualBox is currently on version 7.x, 701, 7.1, whatever. I don't know what version Hyper-V is on, and it doesn't matter. What matters is that previous to VirtualBox 7, VirtualBox 6, and everything previous, you could install it, but you could not run VirtualBox if Hyper-V was installed. So you had a choice. Either run Hyper-V and be happy and skip VirtualBox, or install and use VirtualBox, but you have to uninstall Hyper-V. So I got Hyper-V running for all my stuff up to this point, and I came across a lab that said VirtualBox is necessary for this thing. So I installed VirtualBox, and I said, what the heck? It's been a while since I've tried to run them both simultaneously, or at least, VirtualBox with Hyper-V still installed. So I fired up VirtualBox, came up like a dream. So, wow. I know you're not thrilled by that. It is freaking thrilling. And that is my tech news of the week. This one. Sup, straight lad. This past weekend, every Saturday, I go up in my sit-up and push-up count. This Saturday was go up to 30 each. And it was hard. Those new 5, they take a couple of days to start coming in, but they happen. But what I decided is I did 30 sit-ups today. It doesn't sound very impressive. I did 30 push-ups today. It doesn't sound very impressive. And it's not. But if you just scale that a little bit and talk about how many sit-ups or push-ups you do in a month or even a week. So this week, I did 210 sit-ups and 210 push-ups. And as time goes on, I may switch to monthly. When I get to about 2,800 of each per month, I'll go back to dailies. That's 100 a day. But sorry, I'm just sitting there doing sit-ups and doing push-ups and being bored and hating it. TV news, you don't care about most of this stuff, but there is one new thing. I'm caught up on Strange New Worlds, yay. Caught up on Star Trek Discovery. No, I'm not. Caught up on Tacoma FD. And Futurama came out. There are 2 episodes out. They come out, according to my kid, Sunday night. I have not watched. I'm waiting till the 3rd episode comes out, and then I'll binge the first 3. Yay, Futurama. All right, let's catch up on messages and posts and notes and whatnot, and then on to project. I don't have any Speed Racer stuff up here. Though I was playing with my Speed Racer and Racer X cutouts. Oh, yeah, let me tell you about this part. Okay, so the kid's getting ready to move out. First real job, first life. I mean, he's been out for school, but this time he won't be coming home on breaks for 2 or 3 months. And come back and visit the parents, maybe. So, I have a studio upstairs. I have 3 studios in the house. This one here in my office, one in the kitchen, which is temporary, that I'm using to do my work stuff, and one upstairs that I set up before COVID for what was going to be a Raspberry Pi show on my own. But anyways, when the flood happened 2 Novembers ago, everything got stuffed in there. And so that studio was utterly closed and it was a nightmare. So since the kid is bailing out here next week, I roped him in and said, hey, let's attack the studio. So we did. We got it cleaned up. We got most of the stuff put away. And in short order, I will relocate at least some of my online activities to that room. Different backdrops. It's a stand-up studio. I won't be sitting down at my desk doing all this. So look forward to a new studio. I certainly am. All right. My voice is lower and deeper. I can do that. If anybody watched the Discord study hall this week, this is the identical setup, including the new USB interface. So my voice should be about similar to that. Again, unless it's just something environmental on the day. Jason, it's story time with Darth Vader. Sorry. You can talk any... Hey, you know what? This is a free-for-all, guys. Is the ADRAMADA Discord different than the Total Seminars Discord? It is absolutely different. Somebody who's a Discord member here right now, we got a handful of folks, please send Elaine an invitation. If you don't get one, Elaine, before the show is up, as soon as the show is over, I will go and do that. They are absolutely different. I am not allowed to mix them. I've been pulled into a meeting about that. So, okay, I don't. Totally different servers. Chickens. Right wing, left wing. Yeah, I am so right wing. If I were an airplane, I would do circles to the left into the ground. Jason is on fire. Elaine is misbehaving. Too much whimsy. You guys. Dark Reader is easy readers. Told it to stream, and I see myself on YouTube. It looks like we're happening. What are you guys seeing? Am I here? Am I alive? Hello, hello. Okay. Din's Frenzy says, yay, I'll take that to assume that we are back. Sorry about that. I haven't rebooted this machine since I built it. It's probably about due. Hey, all right, well, let's get a project started up. We've only got 20 minutes or so to go. I've got 15 different demos here. And that's what I think I didn't do. I knew there was something I was thinking about. Stuff you got to start before the show starts. Nook 10 I5 FNH dot local. Really? Nook 10 I5 FN. Oh, it's right there. Oh, that's a Nook 10. How does that change things? Totally. Nook 10 I5 FNH dot local. Okay, it's going to work. Then we log in as me. Then we give me's password. All right, I'm in. Now, let me see if I can share this with you. I'm sorry, this is just poor preparedness on my part today. I went down to the office, which is a good thing to do. Okay, the font's a little small on this, but I think we're going to be okay. So let's put up putty. Hey, it's recognized. Don't panic. I know the font's small, and if I had 5 more minutes, I would fix it. But what I'm going to do, you'll be able to see as I describe it. So the first thing I want to talk about is a command that's designed as a little bit of humor. You know, when you're in Linux and you want to
see a file listing of where you are, you type ls. But sometimes we type a little fast and we type SL, and that's not a command, right? So somebody said, hey, I'm going to make a command called SL for those people who typo. So let's install it. Sudo. I'm using Ubuntu here. I tested most of these on Rocky as well. They work fine. And there's, I guess I got to do this. Let me put something up in the chat. I got a lot of my ideas for this show from a website that listed everything that I'm going to do here and a lot more. Some of them are pretty dangerous. So I've limited these to the ones that are safe and the ones that I know work on Ubuntu. But if you've got another platform out there, Fun Linux Utils, just go to this website and it will give you how to install it on your particular distro. Okay, so we're back to installing SL. Sudo apt install SL. Well, that's your password. I don't know. That looks like one. It's a quick install. And now if you typo SL instead of LS, and there's a whole bunch of switches with this that can change the way this train runs. When it's all done, it takes you back to the prompt. And so I will just say SL space -- help. Yeah. Notes. I did so many of these today. Oh, there's only 4 command line switches for this one. So to get the details on this, you got to do man SL. It's got SL pages. So we've got a -A, we've got a -L, -F, a -E. You get the idea. I'm not going to demo all those because I got so much to do. I can't do this other one because of poor prep, but I'm going to put a link in the chat feed. This is a Linux server that's online. It's called telehack.com. Fun Linux Utils at Telehack. Okay, it's in the chat feed. Utley's, huh? Let's try that again. Utils. There we go. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of verbal background here. Tell you a couple things that you need to know. So when you go there, step number 1 is make sure you read the landing page. You do not have to create an account. If you want to create an account, you're going to run the new user command. Just type in new user. And you will get more things than what shows up on that main screen. I haven't created an account, and I've had a lot of fun. You'll get a list of things that you can do on that main page, and they are all command lines. So I would recommend you start with Star Wars. It plays Star Wars in ASCII movie, but a little different than ASCII movies that you may have seen in the past. You quit with Control-C, and then what happened to my list of all the things that I need to do or that I want to play with? Type in the command help, and that'll get you that list. A little different format, but it's the same list. Okay, done with that. I like this one. It's called Fortune. Sudo apt install Fortune. And he goes, buzz, grind. You want to do it? Yeah, I really do. And now, this is a command that you can run anytime you want, just from the command line. Type in the command Fortune. And it generates a fortune cookie. There's zillions of inputs and randomized. Be cautious in your daily affairs. So it's great in a script, right? You want to do some new daily fortune every day. You're just bored and you want to sit at your computer and see what your fortune is this time. And there's little, quotes and wisdoms, not just fortunes. So it's a lot of fun. If for some reason, by the way, you want to get rid of it, you don't sudo apt remove it. You sudo apt remove fortune mod. Fortune-mod with only one R, please. Apt. Really want to? Yeah, really want to. And it's gone. Here's a command that's already built into Linux, so you don't have to install anything. If you want to look at the contents of a file, a text file, we usually use the cat command, right? So if I say cat qbf.text, there's a file in here called qbf.text. It's got 2 lines in it. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog's back, and now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their party, of the party. But if you use the rev command, it will take the contents of your text file and poke it out to you in reverse. That can be a lot of fun. It can have some real value too. So I just thought you might enjoy that one. Likewise, here's one other command that's already built into most Linux distros, and it's the factor command. By the way, don't run rev or factor without any parameters after it. It'll just take you to a nothing screen. You got to break out of it with Control-C. But factor is a numerical factorizer. So for instance, if we say factor 5, well, there's only 2 multiples of 5, 1, which isn't included in there, and 5. But how about if we factor 10? What are the factors of 10? 2 and 5, right? Hey. How about 15? How about 25? Now, what happens if you put in a number that's not evenly factorializable? That's not the right term, but you get the idea. How about 23? So, nope, the only factor of 23 is 23. It's a prime number. Okay, just kind of a neat little quickie thing. All right. This is an ancient utility. Been in Linux and Unix forever. It's called cowsay. And it does 2 things. So let's install it. Sudo apt install cowsay. This is a utility that will echo the contents of the command line if you put it in, or of a file. For instance, if we say cowsay, I love ADRAMADA. Then he makes a little ASCII cow, puts whatever you put in the text line here in a text box. And so if we feed some contents of a file from that, how about we cat my QBF file and pipe it into cowsay. He puts it all in a text box. What happens if we rev that? Let's change cat to rev. Just a neat little thing. It's used in scripts all the time, in bash files, and it's just fun. Here's another command built into Linux. It has some legitimate Linux value, but it's also just a fun little thing. It's called the yes command. Again, you want to put some kind of parameter after it. What it does is whatever you put on the command line after yes gets echoed infinitely to your command line. Hello, world. Let's use right grammar. I love me some ADRAMADA. It's just going and going and going. Control-C. It'd be a terrible thing to put in somebody's login script file, right? How we doing here? 51. All right. Gotta like this one. This one's so cool. I'm going to get 2 or 3 of these more done, I think, and that's going to be it. How about a program called Toilet? I don't know why they call it Toilet. I didn't research the etymology of it. You need 2 things to make it fully functional. First of all, you need the toilet program itself. And what he does is he takes text and converts it into a big text banner. So let's install it. Sudo apt install toilet. Okay, it's done. And it actually works right now. I can say toilet ADRAMADA. Oops. Toilet ADRAMADA. Okay, he makes a nice little banner out of that. If we say toilet minus help, there's a whole bunch of controls. And one of them is the lowercase f. Somewhere in here, there it is, F, for font. But the fonts that this thing uses didn't get downloaded as part of it. You have to download them manually. So we're going to sudo apt install. Oh, here, let me run it once just so you can see. How about sudo? I don't need sudo. I want to do toilet minus F and then the name of a font. And we'll do lowercase ADRAMADA. And it says, hey, I couldn't find a font called big. That's right, because we haven't loaded them. So let's load them. Let's clear here. Sudo apt install toilet fonts. Buzz, 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 grind, grind, grind. Now you need the name of a font to work with. To see the names of all the fonts, we need this command. Dpackage, dpkg, minus capital L, and then the package that we just installed, toilet fonts. And if we just do that, it's going to pump out more information than we can stand. So I want to see all of the font files. And they all have a TLF extension. So show me all the lines of this dpackage output that has TLF in it. And now I'm going to see the fonts. So these are the names that we care about. ASCII 9, ASCII 12, Big ASCII 12, Big ASCII 9. So now we can do that same command I did earlier. And we'll pick one of these. How about Big ASCII 9? And it looks like that. Now let's make it 12. Ooh. So there's lots of fonts to play with here. There's lots of other switches. You can direct this out to a printer and make banners. You can make really huge things out of this. It's really kind of cool. All right, I think the last one that I got time for, I love this one. You saw this 2 weeks ago because I was playing with it then. It's called C Matrix. C Matrix is a falling font matrix kind of control screen or whatever they call those things. There are some slightly better ones now, but this one is the most efficient, quick, clean, down, and dirty. All we got to do is sudo apt, stop it, can't type today, install C Matrix. All right. The basic is just to type in the command C Matrix. It's not bad. It has two notable differences from the real Matrix screens. One, there's no Japanese characters in here. And two, they're all the same intensity. So we can control all that stuff. I can do Control C here. And how about C Matrix minus help? And you'll notice up about the fourth option down, minus C. So if I say C Matrix minus C, that's going to include the Japanese characters, katakanas. Oh, gosh golly, no it doesn't. It's a hit or miss proposition. Some people's systems work, some don't. Some people have tried to make fonts that force it to work, but this is the one fall apart where C Matrix isn't as good as some of the other ones because they've got built-in Japanese fonts. But we can do a lot of other pretty cool things here, like change colors, capital C. Oh, wait a minute. Let's slow it down. Minus U followed by a number between 0 and 10. This is the delay. The smaller the number, the faster it happens, and the default is 4. So if I want to slow this falling down,
I'll use the highest number. Much prettier for me. I like this much better. Control C to stop it. And now let's add some colors. And that will finish up for today. It's minus capital C. And then you can just use any textual color here that makes you happy. Yellow. Ooh, and it's yellow. Or red. I'm doing this all on purpose. Because I need to get the idea. But there's two other things I want to show you. Make it blue. That's a very cold looking screen, huh? How about rainbow colored? For that, it's just minus lowercase r. All right, that's everything that I'm going to get through. I think I'll do a couple more of these next week. There's only 3 or 4 more to go. But we're out of time today, so let's get out of that thing. Let's go back to head. Check the final messages if there are any. Do a goodbye. Oh, gosh, there's such good stuff in here. I got a random identity generator. This kind of dovetails really well with a presentation that our friend Steve Nicholson did a couple weeks ago. So you want to make a random identity. You need a name. You need an address. You need a phone number. There's a program in here that will do that for you. It's got a huge database of random names and number generators, and it's really, really cool. All right. Yeah, Steve mentioned it. Voice is normal now. Oh, maybe there was just a problem with OBS. All good. Okay, thanks. Fun Linux utils, telehack. Oh man, telehack is just good. I know, I typed that in. I can't see him, but I'm following along in my terminal. Okay. AI, remember Steve. Oh, AI. Hey, I remember Steve telling us about this one. Yeah, it's really cool. Here, I'll get you started. Sudo apt install rig, and then just run the rig command. Popping is back. Well, I'd say better popping than pooping, but here comes. Oh, everybody blew it. Gosh, golly. Hiragama? No, it was katakana. Well, guys, challenges today. Seems like all of my shows end up with an apology for something or other. I won't bore you with the details, but I got up early here and I started work, and then I had to go down to the office and work with Michael Smyer on a project that he and I are working on, and he and I are terrible. We can't stop talking. I got to get out of here by 3 so I can get home and get show prep, and I got out of there around 3:30, and that's where my missing half hour that I wanted to use for prep time finally came to rest. All right. Well, let's wind this thing up. I'm not going to go on Discord after the show today, either of them, because my Cleveland Browns are on, and I'm going to go watch them. But I will be on after that. I got to come back here and do some more work tonight. Oh, I got to tell you, I ordered today the best shirt of my collection. It's not going to arrive until end of August, but I am so excited and happy about it. We'll see. Maybe we'll, maybe not. All right, you guys had enough? Here we go. Let's wind her up. As ever and always, I wish you a great rest of the week. There's not much left, so good weekend too. Take care of each other. Take serious steps to stay healthy. If at all possible, call or visit your parents, and never forget, technology is great, but the greatest resources we have are you and I. I am Dave Rush. This has been ADRAMADA, and I bid you good night. We'll see you next week on ADRAMADA, Thursday night, and any other places that I exist in this world that we don't cross over technologies and talk about our platforms. So until then, remember, how you do anything is how you do everything. Eep, op, ork, later, guys.